How we doing, everyone? Last night we had Sean Strickland going up against Abus Magomedov. Potentially a really tough fight for Sean. Tough first round. Easy fight, massive stoppage in the second round. His hands were blisteringly fast. One of the best performances that Sean Strickland has ever had. Now, the fight card from top to bottom, some very, very interesting fights on there. We're going to go through some of them, but we will start with that main event as we see there. TKO round 2. Abus Magomedov came into this one off the back of a first round stoppage, 19 seconds over Dustin Stoltzfus in Paris last year. Gets the main event. Apparently people didn't want to fight him. Apparently Sean says people didn't want to fight him either. They made the matchup. It started off pretty good for Abus Magomedov. If you're Abus Magomedov, that was a great first round. He was going out there. He was throwing a lot of diverse attacks, right? He was mixing up the kicks, the strikes, the punches. He was finding the mark. He was connecting on Sean. Now, there was a bad eye poke. I mean, it was pretty much zoom, 2 fingers down the barrel into the eyes, and it was worrying. It looked like the fight might have stopped there for a second, but it didn't. It continued. It was a tough first round for Sean Strickland, but Abus Magomedov, he never paced himself. Sean has done 5 main events now, I think it is. And you can see the experience. And Sean's style actually is a very economical style. Uses a lot of jabs. And then as the fight progresses, he opens up with other shots. Doesn't throw massive energy-consuming attacks. Not doing massive flying knees, spinning wheel attacks, stuff like that. Certainly not doing cartwheel kicks and all that nonsense. It's just a very simple approach, an economical style. And then when the openings are there, he takes advantage of them. And that's exactly what he did in the second round. It all started with a 1-2. The most basic of combinations, but one of the most effective. I often say this all the time. You see a lot of people, a lot of fighters, they want to be flash. They want to throw spinning stuff. They want to throw spinning back fists. But you got to have the fundamentals. The jabs, the right hands, the 1-2, the double jab right hand, the 1-2 left hook. These are essentially the combinations that Sean Strickland uses. And they're fundamentals, they're basics, but they're fundamentals and they're basics for a reason. They're the most effective weapons you can have. And the jab is the most effective weapon. I'm telling you, the jab is the key to the door. It opens up so much stuff. And there's many different types of jab, by the way. You can have an offensive jab where you step in. You can have a defensive jab where you step in when you're using it as a defense, or you can have a neutral jab. Anyway, jabs, very, very underrated. But in the second round, Sean Strickland lands a 1-2. Kind of wobbles Abus after that, and he's knocking him all over the place. He's growing in momentum, lands a few more shots, and then Abus Magomedov covers up like this, and then boom, boom, boom. Beautiful long combination, crumbles him, and that was that. That's all she wrote. Sean Strickland got the job done. And I'm telling you, what a performance. The man's a character. He's great on the microphone, you know. He loves America, and people love him for that as well. Of course, he's a big patriot, and rightly so. Yeah, sensational performance. He wants to fight, who is it? He calls him the Chinese champion. I don't know why he does that. He wants to fight Israel Adesanya.
No man that beats off the cartoons is going to beat me. Calm down.
He feels that Israel Adesanya's fought everyone. You know, of course, he's fought Robert Whittaker twice, and the winner of Dricus versus Robert is going to get the next title fight. He said there's no way that Dricus wins, and he also said that people don't want to see Whittaker fight him again. And I'll be honest, after that one last night, I wouldn't mind seeing it. And of course, the trash talk and the lead up to the fight would be phenomenal. But still, let's have a little listen to Sean Strickland at the post-fight press conference last night. He's very happy. He's got a sponsor now.
Sean, obviously not just a victory, but a very impressive stoppage victory. I mean, I know you like to fight and win, but I mean, does this one feel special for you?
Yeah, I know, first round kind of sucked. There was a moment where, like, at the beginning of the second round, I was like, man, is he done already? Is this really it? This is all we got? All right, well, why don't we just end this fight now? But yeah, I was shocked, man. I was fucking shocked.
Yeah. He came out with a pretty blistering pace, overwhelming to start. I mean, he starts like that quite a bit. Is that what you were expecting to see?
Well, you know, when you insult a man in his country and you call him fucking losers, people tend to take that shit a little personally. So, you know, he may have took that a little personally on calling Germany losers. But you guys, what did I say? Don't trust the German. What does the German do right when we start? He fucking stabs me in the eye. So,
and apparently almost impregnated him. And apparently almost got him pregnant. Anyway, there's enough of that. If you want to watch the whole thing, you can find it online. Sean Strickland, very controversial, very funny, very entertaining, and very effective last night. And I think he should get a fight against Israel Adesanya pretty soon. I reckon if Izzy is still the champion when that time comes. Anyway, what else did we have? We had Grant Dawson versus Abus Magomedov. I'm telling you, Grant Dawson is a problem. Grant Dawson, he wanted everyone to say, man, that kid is good. I'm telling you, man, that kid could potentially be a champion one day. The wrestling effectiveness that Grant Dawson has is unbelievable. Abus Magomedov, pardon me, is a very good fighter. I'm telling you, he's got a win over Kurum Kutateladze. I mean, the man is as legit as they come. Grant Dawson took him down, controlled him, took the body triangle over and over and over again. And listen, some people might find it a little boring because it wasn't the most action-packed fight. But what we saw there was pure domination. Think about Khabib Nurmagomedov back in the day. He wasn't finishing everyone to start. If Grant Dawson can just kind of get the finishes going, then I'm telling you, the man could be a superstar. And he's a sweet kid as well. He's a very, very nice guy. And if you want to hear from him tomorrow on the Believe You Me podcast, I will be talking to him, myself, and Anthony Smith. Oh, and we're also joined by Alexander Volkanovski, so keep an eye out for that one. That'll be on the channel as well. What else did we have? Excuse me, just had my coffee. Michael Morales defeated Max Griffin. Michael Morales, if you don't know the name, he's from Ecuador. Keep an eye out for that man. He looked brilliant. He looked absolutely brilliant. All right, now we had some other fights. The one I want to get to is Kevin Lee, but we're going to go through these ones real quick. Ariana Lipski defeated Melissa Gatto. Great, good for her. Nice job. Benoit Saint-Denis. I'm telling you, this man, I love watching him fight. Incredible performance against Ismail Bonfim. Got the job done. Got the rear naked choke in round one after some nice violence. He's a wild man. He's a former French special forces, and he loves to bloody fight. And then oh my God, this one. Nursultan Rozaboyev taking on Bruno Ferreira. My God, keep an eye out for that name. You're not going to be able to forget it. You might not be able to spell it, right? Nursultan Rozaboyev. Just went out there. Bruno Ferreira, you won't know this guy's name. I'm going to give you a full screen, the full facial treatment. I'm going to give you a facial. Nursultan Rozaboyev and Bruno Ferreira. Bruno Ferreira is like a protege from Vanderlei Silva. He's had 2 knockouts in the UFC so far. Very talented, undefeated, all finishes if I'm not mistaken. Nursultan Rozaboyev caught the kick. Right hand, sat him down, classic counter to a low kick. Anytime someone throws a low kick, there's always the potential, if you're both orthodox, there's always the right hand counter. It's a classic. Caught him with that, caught the kick first, boom, right hand, drilled him, couple more shots, that was it, put him to sleep. And then before that is another one that's hard to say or even harder to spell. Rinat Fakhretdinov defeated Kevin Lee, right? Crushed Kevin Lee. Now, Kevin Lee, come on, listen, we all know Kevin Lee, the downtown phenom, the Motown phenom, what am I saying? Unreal fighter. He's been away from the UFC for a little while. And, I mean, listen, it didn't go well for him. Let's just have a quick look at Kevin Lee's record because it was bad what happened last night. I like Kevin Lee a lot. I think he's got so much potential. I really do. Hold on. Let's pull this over here. There we go. He's got so much potential. He's been a part of so many big fights, right? If you look at his record, Gregor Gillespie, that knockout was incredible. There was that loss to Charles Oliveira, but he was doing really well against Charles as well. Dos Santos, Iaquinta, Edson Barboza, Tony Ferguson, choked out Michael Chiesa, Francisco Trinaldo, right? The man's legit. He really is. But he lost a lot of those fights against those big names, but he was doing really well even against Oliveira and Tony Ferguson. He had him mounted. He was putting on all kinds of trouble, all kinds of damage, all kinds of punishment. But he would always lose. And he came back this week in the end. Maybe he wasn't managing his gas tank, but he came back this week and said, look, listen, I've matured a lot. And I was excited because, I thought if he has matured with the physical abilities, the athletic ability that he has and the experience, then maybe we could see the start of like a championship run or something like that. But I'm telling you, this Rinat Fakhretdinov, he made short work of him, man. It was a bad finish. So it was a massive punch from Rinat Fakhretdinov. Boom. Drilled him. Sat him down hard. I actually thought he was knocked out. I thought, that's it. But he grabbed onto a single leg. He was trying to recover. Rinat Fakhretdinov almost ripped his head off because he got him in the guillotine. Front choke. Squeezed the hell out of it. And it was like, is Kevin Lee fighting? Is he still conscious? It was hard to see. So I'm not giving the referee any judgment. It was really hard to see. We couldn't see watching on a monitor and watching it live as well. And the referee steps in and Kevin Lee just crumbles to the octagon, face down, fast asleep. And I like Kevin Lee, and I hope he comes back, and I hope he has a successful run because he's got so much potential. But Rinat Fakhretdinov, keep an eye out for that one. Joe Anderson Brito got a big win over Weston Wilson, making his UFC debut. Elves Brenner versus Guram Kutataladze. That was tremendous as well. And there it is. There's a little wrap-up of the fights that happened last night. Hope you're all well. Subscribe, ring the bell. Lots of content coming this week for International Fight Week. We've got interviews with Volkanovski. I've got interviews with Robert Whittaker, Dricus Duplessis. I'm going to be in Las Vegas doing some live stuff, walking around the strip, stuff like that. So keep an eye out. Come back to the channel. Subscribe, ring the bell one more time. Have a good day. Right, I'm off for a run. Okay? Got to get these abs back. You guys take care. Much love. All the best.